Eric Davis fairly recently openly acknowledged that he was the author of that note. But that note demonstrates, without a doubt, how high-level government officials, in this case Admiral Thomas R. Wilson, had been denied rightful access, as he saw it anyway, to certain UFO reverse engineering programs. Wilson at the time was deputy head of intelligence for the Joint Chiefs of Staff, had learned about the alleged existence of black budget UFO reverse engineering programs back in 1997, looked into it, and indeed found more than one, talked to the managers of one of those programs, and they basically slammed the door in his face. He said, well, I'll complain up the chain of command. They said, be our guest. We don't really care. We're not afraid of you. And he did complain, and he was threatened with his career. And 5 years later, talked to Davis about it. So the compartmentalization of the UFO phenomenon is very important, not to be underestimated at all. It's a big, big part of how this subject to this day remains opaque to many of us who are on the outside trying to look in. I mean, if someone of Wilson's stature 25 years ago could not get a peek at this reverse engineering program, what makes us think that ordinary folks like ourselves can, right? Well, but beyond that, other public and elected representatives have been denied access to this phenomenon. We have stories going through decades. Many, many years ago, the late Senator Barry Goldwater, man ran for president back in the 1960s, talked about being denied access to UFO information at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base by his very close friend, four-star General Curtis LeMay. Goldwater talked about that on a number of occasions, how LeMay, he says, the only time LeMay really ever cussed me out and got angry at me and told me I was just never going to have access to that information there, where bodies allegedly were kept, Goldwater said. Or in the 1990s, New Mexico Congressman Stephen Schiff attempted to obtain information about Roswell through official channels, totally shut down. And now we have more recent statements from current members of Congress, Tim Burchett, Anna Paulina Luna, and others, about how they are continually getting stonewalled by the Pentagon, by the federal government on these matters, not just about what's going on in the areas of things like alien tech and reverse engineering, but in the current situation relating to these so-called mystery drones. They are not satisfied with the answers they're getting.